In this session, we explore the final obstacle to inner peace, the fear of God. Drawing on Chapter 19, Section 4 of A Course in Miracles, we will translate its core ideas into clear visuals so we can understand, question, and ultimately release this deep, unconscious fear. Our relationships are described as temples of healing. As the peace within us expands outward, it meets ego-made obstacles. Psychologically, peace is not acquired but uncovered. Our task is to identify and dismantle the ego's inner barricades that resist this natural state. The Course outlines 4 layers that block peace: the wish to get rid of peace, the overvaluation of the body, the attraction to death, and finally the fear of God. At the deepest level, human conflict stems not from external threats, but from terror of our own creator. Here we meet a paradox. Spirit knows God as all-encompassing love, which logically has no opposite, yet the ego experiences this same love as a threat to its separate identity. What is absolute safety to spirit appears as annihilation to the ego's sense of individuality. This diagram shows the ego's story of separation. First comes the illusion of autonomy, then guilt for having stolen independence, followed by projection of that guilt onto the world, and finally fear of divine punishment. The ego thus recasts God's return as wrath, not love. We now contrast 2 paradigms. The ego sees God as a wrathful judge, operates through fear and projection, and seeks specialness and separation. Spirit sees God as infinite love, operates through extension and sharing, and aims at union and atonement. The mind must choose one. The ego is like a fortress built to protect the fear of God. Its survival depends on keeping us afraid of returning to unity. By projecting its own hostility onto God, it invents a terrifying deity. Its core message is, do not look beyond illusion. Love itself will destroy you. Judgment is reinterpreted here. The ego imagines a punitive last judgment. The Course reframes it as a final healing, a weighing of truth against illusion. What is loving is retained. What is fearful simply falls away. It is the dismissal of guilt, not a sentence of punishment. 2 modes of perception are contrasted. Physical eyes confirm separation, seeing bodies, guilt, and error. The spiritual eye, by contrast, literally cannot see error. It looks only for atonement and wholeness. Miracles arise when we choose this inner vision over the ego's sight. Time is the ego's domain, stretching guilt from past to future. Miracles introduce a vertical shift in perception that interrupts this continuity. In that out-of-pattern interval, fear-based logic is bypassed, and the time required for healing collapses, making change seem instant. The holy instant is called a miniature of eternity. It is the moment we suspend judgment, release past guilt, and drop future fear. With guilt absent, punishment is no longer expected. In this vertical now, the fear of God cannot exist, and only the experience of peace remains. Atonement means recognizing that separation never truly occurred. It was only a dream. If no real break happened, there was no theft, and therefore no guilt. Without guilt, the fear of God is revealed as a defense against nothing. Atonement becomes a purely healing protection. Fear is undone through joining. When 2 minds unite around a shared, loving purpose, the first link in the awareness of universal sonship is made. The holy relationship offers concrete evidence that union is safe and joyful, gradually dissolving the belief that God is to be feared. Here, the synthesis is clear. The 4th obstacle is only a phantom. God is neither angry nor vengeful. The so-called fear of God is the ego's projection of its own fear of non-existence. When we stop valuing the ego's survival, this imagined barrier vanishes into unobstructed peace. We conclude with an image of completion. Love prepares a shared feast in a quiet garden, symbolizing inclusive grace. The journey ends where it began, in the peace of our Creator. As the ego's barricades fall, the mind remembers its home in love and rests in lasting security.